Kyle Rittenhouse.
Kyle Rittenhouse. Okay. So just the way this is being framed, they're acting like he came in like, the mainstream media is ignoring the fact that the Kenosha Police Department is putting out press releases about, people coming in from Portland and Seattle to burn. They're then acting like a kid who grew up in the Kenosha metro,
drove across state lines.
Okay. Yeah. Antioch, Illinois, it's a pretty small town, kind of to go to the doctor, to go to the hospital, to go to your bigger stores. You're going to drive over to Kenosha, the fourth biggest city in the state of Wisconsin, right? Mm-hmm. And I can, kind of maybe a little bit different parenting, a little bit more being upset. I can understand, kind of the hero complex of, and, he was playing Call of Duty in some ways,
Yeah. I mean,
I
listen,
can understand
that kid,
how he got
that
there.
That dude had no business with the AR-15 unless he had some random provisional hunting license and there's some weird loophole in the law. He had no business being there with a freaking AR-15. I don't know why his mom would drive him to a protest like that. But to be fair, to say that he was out there trying to murder people when all of the video footage just shows the complete opposite. All the footage shows him sitting there administering first aid with a first aid kit, with first aid gloves, saying, "I'm willing to go." And the militia group that was there said, "Hey, we're here to just make sure nothing happens. We're here to protect the protesters. We're here." And they literally say, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter. There's a clip of that. I did a whole reaction video of that. So the way this is being framed is white supremacist opens fire. This kid is not a hero in my opinion. So I don't think we need to heroize him, and I definitely don't think we need to vilify him, because whenever you do one of the extremes, this is how people get red pilled. This right here. It's like it's like no one's looking at the facts, and so then the people that are talking about the facts, like, again, I never would have thought I'd be like, wow, Ben Shapiro is accurate in his whole thing about this. Goodness gracious, I can't believe I'm disagreeing with Trevor Noah on this. I can't believe I'm disagreeing with Charlemagne the God, and I'm agreeing because of just the way the media is framing this.
Well, he shot 3 people. Okay. We know that. I'm going to deal with each one of them individually. Okay. And how it's being covered. So the first one, I forget the guy's name, but he was a convicted child molester. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we have a convicted child molester at a riot. Okay. He got shot in the head and died. Dude, I'm sorry, but play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Out of all, I'm a Christian, blah, blah, blah. Every life is precious to God. Sure. I mean, I believe that's true. As far as what I've got time or emotional capacity to care about right now, when people who, people I know whose lives have been destroyed, I just cannot bring myself to have a lot of emotion about the fact that there is a dead child rapist in the street.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Let's back up. Did you see the footage? Did you see the entire?
So that's the only one. Well, I wanted to deal with each one individually.
Okay.
I don't know what happened there. I saw, they were trying to administer first aid. I don't know if the kid that shot him was trying to administer first aid.
No,
but
he was
second
not.
two, he was not. Okay, it was somebody else. Okay.
So let's back up. So let's
Yeah.
let's just cover that. So one. There's a part where they're a couple blocks away. Somehow there's tension brewing. The first victim is saying, "Shoot me N-word," right? White guy.
Yeah,
white guy with a bald head.
Basically,
shoot me N-word. Shoot me.
Now, he was the child molester. Yeah, he was the convicted child molester.
Yeah.
Yes.
So prior to this, the guy Kyle Rittenhouse, the shooter in the situation, he said, "I'm just there doing first aid." He's he got pepper sprayed. Da da da. So one, that's that. Then the second clip, something happens. We don't know what. But that guy that's saying, "Shoot me N-word," is chasing Kyle Rittenhouse, right? He's chasing him and throwing something at him. It wasn't a Molotov cocktail, but it was something, some kind of liquid stuff, right? He's throwing something at him.
I have not seen
that. Then
he
tramples him. He gets into close quarters with him, and then that's when he gets shot in the head. Kyle Rittenhouse then kind of stumbles around, gets up. A journalist actually comes over and starts administering first aid. Kyle Rittenhouse calls what appears to be 911 and says, "I just killed a guy. I just killed a guy. I can't believe it. He's then running from the scene to what appears to be police custody. And then that's when the second attack happens.
Okay. And that's what I wanted to speak about. So the second attack was a guy hit him over the head with a skateboard. And they're like, oh, well, it was just, you know, it was just a skateboarder against a dude with a rifle. First of all, what are you doing if you know that this kid just shot somebody? What are you doing going in there? You're taking your life in your hands.
Yeah, I think you could argue that they were being courageous and they were chasing somebody who they thought was an active shooter. That's the that would be the logic. Okay. It was like, cool. These guys are courageous. They're going after somebody who they think is an active shooter. Because again, maybe they didn't know. Maybe they didn't know he was getting chased and he responds with using lethal force because he gets knocked over. They don't know. So I think that's the part where the second two were like, wow, these guys. They're these heroes. I don't know. I think I would lean towards the fact. If there's an open shooter, I don't know if I'm chasing that guy. You know what I'm saying? One of the guys is chasing him with a skateboard. The other guy's chasing him with a Glock.
Yep. I'll be pretty open about this. I am somebody who's had a concealed carry license in 3 states now. I've got a lot of training. I am not out there to be a hero. I have a friend from high school who died in a mass shooting in Omaha, Nebraska in 2005. Okay. The only reason I ever carry a gun, and I'm just not flashy about it. I don't usually talk about it. I don't have stickers on my car. Like, I don't wear the t-shirts, you know what I mean? Is because I want to go home to my family and I want to make sure my family's protected. If something violent is happening, we are leaving. I am not a soldier. I am not a police officer. We are running away, and the only reason I'm carrying that gun is for if there is no other option except for myself or someone in my immediate vicinity is going to die if I do not take action. I'm not going to chase after somebody. Okay, the second 2 people he shot, one smashed him in the head. It's very easy to die from blunt force trauma to the head. The other one was raising a Glock to put a bullet in his head right then, and he blew the dude's arm off. I believe that the guy's going to have his arm amputated. Again, when play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I actually think that we need to talk about this also in kind of in connection to the very first shooting that kicked off this whole era down in Florida. And again, I apologize. I had all these names in my head, but George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, right?
Trayvon Martin, yep.
Okay. Again, George Zimmerman shouldn't have got out of his car. He didn't need to. Trayvon Martin would still be alive. Yes. The reason that we look at it that way is because one of them was a kid with his whole life ahead of him, and one of them was an adult. Same thing here. You got a 36-year-old adult that engaged this whole thing. A 36-year-old child molester adult who got shot in the head, for attacking and jumping on a 17-year-old kid. When we weigh this, you have to understand that one of those is a teenager who, by the way, is not a white supremacist because he's Hispanic. And I don't know if you know how white supremacist clubs or whatever they are work, but I'm pretty sure you don't get in if you're Hispanic. So whatever else he isn't that. And to me, all else being equal, you got to say the adults that instigated this did not have to instigate this, and they would still be alive.
Yeah, and I think that's the part where majority of people aren't looking at the footage. So it's just the narrative that's being portrayed is white supremacist or far right person opens fire on protesters. And if you look at the sequence of videos, again, I did a breakdown on it, each video breaking every single thing down. All of this can be true. He should not have been there with the AR-15, right? He shouldn't have crossed it. Like, all of that can be true. He had an illegal firearm. All of that can be true. However, he could have also acted in self-defense based on what we've seen in the footage.
None of this is Lord of the Rings. Nobody's Sauron. Nobody's Frodo. It's all a lot of pretty bad things happening. I mean, from the first shots fired into Jacob Blake's back all the way up to every stage of this riots. I mean, everybody's got some kind of guilt to go around here. But
this thing being framed the way it's framed by the mainstream media, this is the thing that's going to push people deeper into their tribes who aren't willing to look at the actual footage and actually objectively examine it. Which Mowgli tweeted this. He said, "I don't want to live in a world where the center-right and far-right people have a monopoly of facts and empirical evidence." If we live in a world where people are looking at the same footage and saying, nope, he was there as an open shooter trying to shoot protests, and all of the footage says the opposite, those folks that are in the middle, those folks that voted for Obama in 2008 and 2012 and then voted for Trump in 2016, they're gonna vote Trump because of what this is attached to. This is how you give Trump the presidency. This is how he gets reelected. Literally, this city, because Wisconsin is a swing state, could determine what's going on in this city, could determine. I don't want Trump to get reelected, and I don't want Joe Biden to win either. Politically agnostic hashtag. I wish there was another option. I'm in California. My vote's not going to count anyway because California is always blue. It's neither here nor there. But what I'm saying is, this is exactly how you divide. You're not, the Sean Kings, again, I'm very friendly with Sean King over direct message. The Trevor Noahs, the Charlemagne the Gods, all of these people on the left, you're not persuading anybody to come to your side by repeating this same narrative that any objective, sober-minded thinker will look and be like, hey, that doesn't look like that kid showed up just spraying into a crowd and killing people. And that's the way it's being framed. And I think this is how Trump wins the election. Because we're not looking at facts. We're not talking objectively. We're literally inferring our bias, and we're living in a world of confirmation bias instead of saying, hey, you know what? There's some issues with police brutality and how black people are treated in the law. We should fix that. And these crazy protesters are burning down that they have no business doing. That's not okay either. Like, these things don't have to be one or the opposite. You can be for people having their Second Amendment rights and anti-racism. You could be for small government and care about poor people. You could be, right? Like, we're so polarized and it's so binary, man. And I feel like if you actually care about this election, and if Trump is really if Trump is really the guy you think is the bad guy, right? Orange man bad, and Joe Biden's your guy. This is not how you get Trump out. They did this before with Hillary. He's a monster. That was the marketing strategy, and it backfired. And it backfired in this state.